will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
She's passionate about telling stories of amazing women who are rocking the world and empowering women to live, love, and thrive. Here's your host, Catherine Gray.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Live, Love, Thrive Women's Empowerment Hour, brought to you, of course, by 360karma.com. We hope that you are subscribing to us on YouTube because you won't want to miss any episodes that feature amazing women every week on our show. And, of course, follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on My 360 Karma Twitter. So follow the conversation. We're always talking about women's empowerment, and today is no different. And as you know, we always have incredible ladies. And today we have on author, business owner, expert about affordable care, the Affordable Care Act, I should say, and a crystal enthusiast. Please give a warm welcome to our guest, Denecia Jones. Hi, Denecia. How are you?
I'm great, Catherine. How are you?
Good, good. You are an incredible young lady. And I say young lady because I keep thinking you're like 28, but we won't even say how old you are. You look amazing.
Thank you very much.
And, you know, like I said, you do all these things. You're an author. We're going to talk about both of your books. You're a business owner. We're going to talk about that. And a crystal enthusiast. So, and I love the way you've tied those in. And we're gonna discuss this because, interestingly, you have a book about the Affordable Care Act,
Yes.
And then you have one about crystals.
Yes.
So very left brain, very right brain.
Yeah.
Very interesting combination. But then you're a fascinating young lady. So
Thank you.
but what I really want to do is go back to your youth and growing up, because you have had a really challenging road. And I like talking about that because there will be viewers that'll say, I have a similar path. And look where you've come. I mean, you have your own business. You've fought for the Affordable Care Act. You've written 2 books.
Yes.
And yet your challenge was that you lost your dad to pancreatic cancer when you were only 17 years old, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. It amazes me in interviewing people how many people have lost a parent at a young age. That's a tough one. I know bundled with that you and your mom went bankrupt because he didn't have the proper insurance, which then led you to do what you're doing today.
Yes, yeah, to serve the community, to serve people and educate them and make sure that the laws for healthcare are in support of consumers who purchase it. Because we had a Fortune 500 company insurance. We thought we had the best insurance there was, and when we needed the insurance, it didn't work. And so I work with my clients to help them understand what they have, as well as making sure that it's protected in the healthcare system.
And what I love is your book about the Affordable Care Act was a guide to helping people understand this very complicated law. Yes. And you actually lobbied in both Sacramento and D.C. to get the Affordable Care Act in place with other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the federal government is Affordable Care Act, and in California it's covered California. I was involved in both places, and I'm very connected in those areas. I just made it my goal to make sure that I was involved with the planning of these 2 systems.
I think more people should get your book. Can they get it on Amazon?
Yes. It's on Amazon, Google Books,
And I
Barnes
know
and
we're
Noble.
showing it, but the name of it?
Yeah, the Simple Reader's Guide to Understanding the Affordable Care Act.
That's pretty straightforward. The Simple
Reader's
Guide
to Understanding the Affordable Care Act.
Understanding the Affordable Care Act. Boy, did we need that.
Yes.
I still think most people don't know what the Affordable Care Act is. They don't know how important it is that it stays in place, right?
Right.
Are they trying to abolish it now?
It's because we have a new administration, things are changing with it, but most of the parts of the Affordable Care Act are staying intact that, people are concerned about. So I'm working behind the scenes. I'll keep you guys posted on the whereabouts and what's happening. Yeah.
So just to really make people understand the impact of this, So your dad got pancreatic cancer, he passes away from it, and you guys get left with this huge medical bill that causes the bankruptcy. That you're 17 years old. I know you explained to me that you went into modeling to try to just heal yourself and take your mind off of it, and you had some success with that. But then at 18 years old, your mom had a breakdown and put you out of the house, and here you are at 18 years old on your own. And I can imagine, or the listeners could probably imagine, themselves in your shoes, and I'm sure many people listening have been affected by the medical bills causing bankruptcy. In fact, I heard it's the number one reason that people go bankrupt in our country is medical expenses.
With insurance.
With insurance.
Yes.
And it's because they have the wrong insurance.
Because they don't know what they have and how it works in the healthcare system.
And even like your mom, who was with the Fortune 500 company, they're thinking, hey, I'm with a Fortune 500 company. I must have good insurance. Not necessarily the case, right?
Right.
Right.
Most people, they don't know what they have until they actually use it. And by that time, it's too late.
So now you try to put people in a plan, like you explained to me. You had a client who no more got the insurance that you had recommended and ended up in an accident, right?
Yes. I have.
Tell me about that.
I had a client of mine who was referred to me by her son, and we literally got her insured for the first time in her life 2 months before she got into a major accident. She was on a sand dune. She ended up getting injured pretty bad in a quad accident, and
broke her neck.
Broke her neck.
Oh my God!
And was unconscious. Had to be hospitalized. I got a text message from the son saying, the situation. They're like, "Do you have our medical insurance information? Can you text us? We are lifting her right now." On the weekend, and of course I was available. And literally, when she came out, she called me and said, "Hey." You know what, I'm doing much better. The insurance handled everything exactly the way that you said it was going to. Thank you. And so, knock on wood, my goal is to make sure that what happened to me as a child doesn't happen to my clients. And I'd like to protect them.
It's so odd, isn't it? And I say this many times, that it's so odd how sometimes the things that are just so horrific that happen in our lives end up leading us to our calling.
Yes.
And so you've turned it into a blessing, really, because now you're helping other people avoid what happened to you, because not only is it a financial thing, but look how it broke your family apart. I mean, you didn't talk to your mom for 6 years, but I know, thank God, you did connect with her before she passed away, right? But, as a young woman, look what happened because your parents didn't have the right insurance. And so I think it's really wonderful that you got into that line of work. You have your own company, Jade Solutions.
Thank you.
That you go into companies and help make sure that their employees have the right insurance. So this woman that you're telling me about that broke her neck and was thanking you for the right insurance paid only, I think you said, $5,000 out of pocket?
Yeah. At that time, she had a plan that was $5,000 out of pocket maximum. And her bill was $500,000.
So she only had to pay $5,000.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that is incredible.
And there's a lot of policies that are out there that state, "Oh, this is the greatest rate," and since sliced bread.
And people are really only looking at their monthly.
Yes.
Yeah. I've really, I've said that to my insurance person, Sharon. I've said, "Gosh, you have to have like a doctorate to read these different insurance plans." But I remember reading last year, trying to decide between a lower premium one and a higher one. And I went with the higher one because I think it was $350 for the emergency care, which I know I'd been in for kidney stones and stuff. And the other one, I think, was not capped. And so you could end up paying thousands of dollars. And so, you might save a little on your premium, but it's not worth it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I specialize in businesses because that's where it happened to me. A lot of business owners are very busy with what they're doing, and they think that the person that they're working with has it, they're taking care of that. But in the end of the day, the employees are the ones that come back and say, "Hey, this didn't work for me."
Right.
By then it's too late.
Right. So it's important to make sure that your charges are capped. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also important to make sure that physicians and hospitals are in network, and that you know politically what's happening with these particular plans, if they're going to be in existence in a year or two. How do the doctors feel about them? How do hospitals feel about them? Because you want to definitely make sure that your doctors and your hospitals are on your team when you come in using that insurance plan.
That they're happy with it.
They're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're happy.
And so if they're not in network, you could end up owing more money.
Yes. Yeah.
So you
lots of
must
money.
use them in your network in order to get the cap?
Yes, pretty much. That's just
Look at me,
generally
I'm just
how it
learning. I'm going to
works.
pick her brain.
There's it's pretty interesting because a lot of the plans they'll state for PPO plans they'll state out of pocket you'll have a cap on your expenses, but the reality of it is that you don't really have much of a cap or protection that's paid out for out of network benefits.
So be sure you're in the network.
Yeah, if you can, that would be great. But there are a lot of physicians who've chosen not to be part of the system at all. They don't want to be part of insurance, and then you pay them cash. There's also concierge medicine.
So that
as well.
could be unlimited, what you could owe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's an emergency, but if it's just an office visit or something like
Right,
that,
not a big
then
deal.
Not a
Yeah.
big deal. A lot of people.
And the concierge thing, is that something that you handle? Like, can you recommend that?
Yeah, I do. I do have some clients that prefer to have their physician through concierge medicine, and concierge medicine it's an additional membership program that physicians decide that they want to be members of, and as a subscriber, you and I would purchase a monthly fee or an annual fee to have that physician with us.
Right. So this isn't so much for like an emergency surgery or
No.
something. This is kind of more like you have your doctor that you like. You want to be able to see him anytime you want and make it
Get more care,
more accessibility.
Yeah. They're supplementing the cost for the insurance sometimes. Sometimes they will take insurance and they will take the concierge medicine membership fees. So it's just making sure that they get paid to reimburse their particular needs and their expertise.
So are your clients business owners?
Yes.
And then you
Yeah.
take care of their employee plans.
Yeah.
Are the doctors your a client too, in a way?
I do have
Yeah.
doctors that are clients of mine. In addition to the health insurance, we work with clients on life insurance, disability insurance, workplace wellness, and also no-cost and low-cost HR benefits.
I did want to bring in the fact that you also are a specialist and have written a book on crystals
Yes,
because they
yeah.
have been so they've been so impactful in your own life. And also, I love that you go into these companies and talk not just about the nuts and bolts of insurance, but about wellness and how crystals tie into that, and just the overall wellness programs that you perpetuate with them, about how important it is to have both. And I think that's a unique approach in your business, wouldn't you say?
Yes, absolutely. I love the method of Eastern and Western medicine. I definitely believe that we need a balance in a lot of things, business and medical.
Yeah, it's
is one
crazy
of
to
them.
think only Western civilization has the answers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we've had crystals since
For thousands of years.
since the Bible.
As
It's
your-
mentioned
as
in the
your
Bible.
book says,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's mentioned in the Bible several times as far as
Yeah.
healing mechanisms. For some reason, it's still going strong. So there's means it may be working.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
And
working.
I loved your personal story in the book. The book is named,
How Crystals Shine: True Secrets Revealed.
okay, How
Yeah.
Crystals Shine. And they could also find that, author
Yes.
Denecia Jones, of
Yeah.
course, on Amazon. Right.
Amazon, gemmaspirit.com is the site that I actually also have on the site. It's Gemma, like GEMMASS, and then spirit.com. So gemmaspirit.com.
Gemmaspirit.com.
Yeah.
And so you had like a personal epiphany about how these crystals really change you. So with all of the chaos that went on in your life, losing your dad and being, separated from your mom and all of that, you were a young lady that you explained to me, and in your book you tell the story, you were carrying around, of course, a lot of anger.
Yes.
And you found that these crystals, by carrying it on you, really gave you a peace. And by the way, it was so interesting. I was watching the Oscars the other night, and one of the prolific actors, I think it was, I want to say Margot, the one that's on Lady Bird.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was her. Anyway, they were saying about they are carrying crystals, and I thought, hey, they're at the Oscars. They're working.
I'm wearing them too.
But she did talk about it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you said you used to carry the stone in your bra, and there's a funny story about how it fell out at a networking event, and someone's like, what's that?
Well, because I was trying to hide that part of myself. You know, I really wanted to
But now you're wearing it in your jewelry.
I am totally wearing jewelry. I'm selling crystals now to help people
love that.
Heal. And the book is really cool because it adds a little bit of business, a little bit of science, a little bit of stories, metaphysical in it.
And you do talk in there about different celebrities that are into it.
Yes, yeah. So it's kind of it's a fun read, and crystals are just my love. Is more of my behind the scenes love, but now it's like, okay, I'm putting it out there because it really could help a lot of people.
Yeah,
and it is.
And you have such a beautiful energy. I've thought that from the minute I met you.
Thank you.
And I take it that these crystals that you wear, it really is true. They give you a peace.
They do. And like for me, I love them when, say for instance, I'm just nervous, you know? There are certain crystals that you can just use to help with nervousness, or to build confidence, or to build courage, or to build like love when someone, you know, is just having a bad day by you. Need to give them more love, you know? So just different things. They do amazing things. They've been around for a long time.
Yeah. In fact, I mentioned to you that my partner had given me for Valentine's Day this big, beautiful crystal, and you were telling me that it was
it looks
one
like
that
clear quartz.
Yeah,
clear quartz
that clears your
chakras and clears out the spirit, like the
creates
energy
positive
around you.
energy. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, clear quartz is amazing. So yeah, they're just magnificent. I'm finding that a lot of my employer groups, they like to have them on their desk and on them, and it's really helping a lot of people.
Do you think that, I'm often of the belief that if you put your focus on something, you can create the intention. And I just think if something sits on your desk and you associate with it peace or love or happiness, that every time you look at it, that's the feeling evoked because that's the intention you've put on that object. Do you believe that? I do too.
I do. I definitely do. That's a really good point, because there has been debate with crystals for so long about placebo effect, you know, mind over matter versus, you know, the science behind crystals.
I think it's some of both.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I was basically doing some research while I was writing the book on crystals, and found out that, I found out some information with regards to the placebo effect. In 2001, there was a UK research study that stated that crystals were placebo effect, and I found some information that may invalidate that.
Oh,
and it's
really?
in the book. And it's definitely more scientific, not metaphysical or anything that we can't see. It's scientific proof.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty powerful. But I believe that too. It's all about intention. But I'm also a businesswoman. You know, I protect my clients on a day-to-day basis, and I want to make sure that, you know, that analytically, like it adds up.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think if you have an object and if you associate with that object peace or love or calming down, whatever it does for you, hey, that's great. Then, you know, it serves its purpose on your desk.
Absolutely.
And it can lower your blood pressure and all of these things if something, you know, calms you or brings you peace.
Reduce nightmares, and there's so many different things that do help you with public speaking. There's so many different ways that it can help.
So I need to be sleeping with that big rock?
Smaller one. Smaller one.
Speaking of a smaller one, I know you told me in this in the book actually that you would carry it, you know, inside your
bra.
Yeah, there you go. I thought you say it.
I was hiding it. I didn't let it. I didn't want anyone to know. I was like, they don't.
And then
need
it
to
fell out
know
in the middle of a
that.
networking meeting, and people are looking at it going, "What is that?"
Yeah, they have a mind of
fun
their
story.
own. It's really really interesting. I never would have thought I'd be saying this, but crystals are so powerful. When you don't need them, they just kind of disappear.
Yeah.
It's like you lose them. And yeah, about 2 days later, 2 days before, I decided I'm not going to tell anyone about my crystals. They'll never know it's in my bra. It's inside of them that they don't need to know at this business event.
Right.
And yeah, the rose quartz crystal, heart shape, fell out of my bra in the middle of a 20 people at a business event, and I had to explain. So I realized, all right, well, I guess this is my calling too. So it's
Well, it was a good ending to the
Yeah.
story, because some guy's like, what is that? And then you explained
Yes.
it, and then he took it home to his daughter, who was very angry, and he's having issues with her. And he was like,
Yes.
it really worked.
It really did. I saw him 2 months
Yeah.
later, and he's just like, because he wanted to know what exactly it was. He was really desperate. He needed some peace at home. So, and I gave him the heads up. I told him where to get one, and he came back and said, oh my gosh, she's like a different person. So for the guys that are out there who may be having issues with the spouse or kids, get one. Call me.
You know, it's funny because you said he asked you, like, how do I give it to her? And he's
Yeah.
like, you know, this is a gift, and maybe it'll help you feel calm.
Yeah.
And I almost
yeah,
think,
I coached him on that one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
coached him
And
on
I
how to
almost
say it.
think that just the gesture, that he cared enough, that she associated with that stone his love and concern. You see what I'm saying
Yes.
about the conveyance?
Yes.
So when she was carrying it, she actually was thinking about how her dad loved her, and
Yes.
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
don't you think there's something to that?
Oh yeah,
I do
intention
too.
is everything. Yeah,
I do too.
It's, yeah, it's
Yeah.
have to have a great intention. And
Now
so-
they have stones out there for building wealth, right?
Yep.
Getting, finding love, being calm,
Yeah. Depression.
depression.
Yeah, there's oh god, there's over 5,000 different crystals that are out there. Judy Hall, the Crystal Bible, is like she's like the historical goddess of crystals, and I think she has 3 books, and they're all different crystals.
How
and
long
they're
did it
huge.
take you to get into this before, like after all of this, when your dad had passed and left your mom and stuff? Was it immediate that you got into the crystals? Like who introduced you to
Yeah.
them? How'd you find
I
them?
was married, and I was married before. I'm no longer married, but it was a very difficult time because anger started to come up again. And it was around a time that I decided that my mom and I had to separate because it was more hardship in the relationship than it was worth. And so,
And you talk about there's been
anger
some
came up.
addictions in the family, like your
Yes.
dad was
Alcohol,
alcoholic, and that you made a
Yeah.
concerted effort to decide you were going to live a healthy life.
Yes, I did, and
Yoga and eating right and
absolutely
all of that.
changed
yeah.
my life. Grew out of asthma, because of the things that I changed, including
Right.
this reducing the stress, because a lot of the stress was causing me to have some chronic
Physical
health
things,
issues.
right? So
Yeah.
somebody listening might have asthma and realize, I mean, you cured yourself of it
Yes, and I ran a marathon. Yeah, I ran a marathon
Wow.
without an inhaler.
And
haven't
okay,
had an
so you
inhaler
had
for 30
asthma.
years.
What actions did you take that healed you from that? It was
Eating healthier, exercising, getting myself away from situations that were stressful, or figuring out how
I
to
think that's the number
communicate.
one.
Yes.
I mean,
Having good
I think
intentions.
you should eat right and exercise,
Yeah.
but I do think it's so
Absolutely.
important who we put around us. That I
Yes.
love this. Oprah says you're not only responsible for the energy you bring into the room, but the energy you allow into your space. Both what you bring and
true.
what you allow
So
around
true.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, and it can be definitely detrimental to your health, or put yourself around beautiful energy and it can be empowering to your health and mind and body and your life and your joy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My godmother, she's in chemotherapy right now. She has cancer of the uterus.
Wow.
She was the person who took me in when I was 18, and I stayed with her for 6 months. And she was just positive attitude recently, changed her diet, and she's cancer free. She's doing a chemo,
That's
but the
great.
cancer is gone. But they're doing one more treatment today. So love you, gut mom. I love you. So yeah, so it's so powerful. And the one thing that she told me was, I want to be around positive people. I
Yeah.
don't want to be. I just want to be happy about things
Yeah.
and eat healthy and love myself. And so
That's great.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, my mom had a really positive, strong attitude, and she had cancer and probably doubled the length of time she was here that they gave her just from that positive attitude. So I'm a big believer in that does affect our health and longevity. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Both of your books I've so enjoyed. I hope people look them up online. And thanks for the great work that you're doing to help people get the right insurance plan so that they don't end up in that bankruptcy situation, which is so common. And just you're doing great work in the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Catherine.
Have a beautiful week.
Yes,
and
thank you.
also, you all listening, have a great week. Be sure to give back. Hugs and happiness. See you next week.